everyone. Welcome back to another Durham Teachers Educational Special. Here, we make learning easy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ask questions. Let's get into class. Hola.
All right. So students, you're welcome once again. Now during our last session, we treated the concept of nation. And we said that a nation refers to a group of people who share the same culture. And mind you, culture refers to people's way of life, which has to do with their beliefs, their norms, their values, their orientations, and so on and so forth. So a nation refers to people who share the same culture. Now, when we say people share same culture in government, we caption it as being homogeneous. Because it's possible for you to have learned it as same culture. What if Jan brings out a question like, a people who are homogeneous in nation but without independence refer to dash. Are you getting that? So it is expedient that you know that when the people are the same culture, they can be classified as homogeneous, and people with different culture are classified as heterogeneous. Heterogeneous. You know, all means same. Same nation, genus from the word gen. Same nation. Hetero means different nation. So a nation refers to people with same culture but without independence. Now let's talk about nation states. Now I gave an example during the last session about a nation that the Yoruba can suffice as a nation. The Igbos in Nigeria can suffice as a nation. Now, let's cast our mind back to May 30th, 1967, under the regime of General Yakubu Gowon. You know, Ojukwu, leading the Biafran nation, he announced secession, breaking away from Nigeria, and he declared independence for the Biafran people. Now, we know it led to a tragic war, a war of about 30 months, which the Biafran nation lost, so to speak. Now, at it being the war was successful, the Igbo land, Biafra, would have been a nation that has now obtained what? Independence. Mind you, currently, our Igbo people in Nigeria, do they have same culture? Yes. Same belief? Yes. Same norms, same values? Yes. Have they obtained independence? No. But the type of war during the Civil War, at it being their independence was a success. Would they have become sovereign? Yes. Would they have become independent? Yes. They would now transform from a nation into a nation state. That is, they used to be a nation before, but they have now obtained sovereignty. Mind you, the most important feature of a state is sovereignty or independence. That is what qualifies any entity, any group of people to be described as a state. So a nation that has become a state is a nation state. Now you would ask me, can we describe our Igbo people in Nigeria as a nation state? They are not yet independent. What if they obtain independence tomorrow? Do they qualify to be a nation state? Yes, that is a nation that has been an homogeneous people that has obtained independence, that has become a state. Now, can I find an example of an homogeneous setting, homogeneous people that has become a state? Yes, the UK suffices as an example. Or let us use England as an example. When you get to England, are they of the same culture? Yes. In Nigeria, we have English as an official language and different languages as vernacular. But when you get to England, English is official, English is vernacular. They all trace their root, their ancestry to ancient Albion. They have the same customary way of getting wedded, and so on and so forth. So you could say that England consists of a group of people with same culture that have independence. That is a nation state. Is that clear? As simple as ABC. Let's proceed. Now let's talk about the society. This is difficult, I know, but I'm going to try my best to make it simple. The society is complex. Why it is easy to term a group of people as a nation, just by their culture. We can't really be able to identify a society because a nation may have its people living in the same place. A state may have its people living in the same area, just like in Nigeria. Majority of Nigerians find themselves living within that geographical area, that entity called Nigeria. I get it now. But for a society can consist of people, members, that crisscross between different nations and different states. I'll come again. A society can consist of people that interconnects. So it means you will have someone from India belonging to a society, another person from Ghana belonging to that same society, another person from Chad belonging to that same society, e.g., the Christian society, the Muslim society. Is that clear? So it means a society is larger than a state. I'll come again. A society is what? Larger than a state. Now, what is society? It is a complex network. A society is a complex network of interconnected persons who have mutual interests. So a society is a complex network. It's complex. It doesn't have boundaries. States have boundaries, nations have boundaries, but society has no boundary. Now, when we come down to our country, our state called Nigeria, you will have someone from the Hausa tribe and ethnic group belonging to the Muslim society, while you have somebody from Igbo land belonging to the same society. So it means interconnecting between nations. You could even have people from America, from Brazil, from Poland belonging to the same society. That's interconnecting among states and countries. I hope that is clear. So once again, a society is a complex network of interconnected persons who have mutual or similar interests, e.g. the Muslim society, Christian society, Red Cross society, and so on and so forth. Now, I'd like us to consider a concept called power and authority. Now, power and authority happens to be two concepts that can appear naughty and tricky and can confuse students while writing exams. Okay, so I'll start with power. Power. Now, in physics or in the sciences, they'll say power is possibly the ability to do work. For us in government, power is social. Power power goes beyond ability to just work. Power can be something visible, it could be something intangible, something tangible. Now, what is power? Now, before I give us a definition, have we ever come across a bodybuilder, a person who visits a gym regularly? You know how their body builds so much that you observe biceps and triceps and you check their muscles, it is very huge, very large. What will you say about such persons? You say, oh, they are powerful, they have power. And if such persons, they threaten to beat you up, what would you say? Won't you be afraid? You will be afraid. What are you afraid of? Their power. Are you getting now? Now, what if you come across a person who carries a gun, possibly a soldier, a military man? Are you getting now? If the person threatens to shoot you, would you be afraid? Yes, you will. Are you afraid of the person? No, you are not. What are you afraid of? What the person is carrying. What the person is carrying, bearing in his hands. That thing wields power. Whether it has a bullet or not, that thing does what? It wields power. Now, power could be monetary, power could be economic in nature. Now, let me give you a definition of power. Power is the ability. It is the ability. It is the ability or capacity to make people act in a certain way. Even if it is contrary to their opinion. And check that definition once again. Power is the ability or capacity to make people act in a certain way, even if it is contrary to their opinion. Now, there's this thing about power, you don't disobey power. Even if you want to disobey, can you disobey? You just cannot, because it is what? Power. Is it possible to disobey other things? Yes, but so long as it is power, even if it is contrary to your will, contrary to your opinion, you just must obey. Are you getting it? So, power compels you. Power generates obedience, whether it is voluntary or involuntary. I get it now. Power coerces you. I get it. There is this way you come across somebody who is well built, stature-wise. When the person threatens to beat you up, even if you feel like fighting, you get scared because of that physical, that physique, that body build. Is that clear? Very good. So that is power. Ability to make people act in a certain way, even if it is contrary to their opinion. Now, for the purpose of UTMB, I'm going to give us certain keywords that just check for those keywords in the exam, and once you see them, the answer will be power. I get it now. Let me give you the keywords. So when you see a question like this, compel. The ability to compel obedience is known as dash. The answer is power. The capacity to compel citizens to act in a certain way, the answer is power. So once it is compelled, compel has to do with make people forcefully do something. I get it now. They can't say no, they just must obey, and that is power. And the word similar to compel is compulsion. Compulsion. Is that clear? Once you see compulsion, the answer will be power. Then once you see force, the answer is power. Once you see coerce or coercion, the answer is what? Power. Once you see threat or threatening, the answer is power. Once you see punishment, the answer is power. Once you see sanctions, and once you see reward. Now, let me simulate questions for you. The ability to generate obedience with the use of sanctions is known as dash. That's power. The capacity to coerce citizens to act in a certain way, the answer is what? Power, and so on and so forth. So just check for these keywords and arrive at the perfect answer for power. Now, do we have power in the same form? No, power can occur in diverse forms. Now I'm going to give us 4 types or 4 forms of power, and I'll start with physical power. Physical power. Now, there are certain persons who wield physical power. Now, that they might be poor, they might be rich, they might carry a gun, they might not, but once you see them, there is a way they are built up physically that you know that these people, they have strength and they have might. So what is the unique thing about physical power? Might and strength. Is that clear? Very good. Then another type of power is military power. Military power. I get it now. So if I come across a police officer without any arms, who is not bearing any arms, no gun, no barrel, if he tells me to leave a particular place, I'm not going to obey him. I will size him up. Does he have anything to coerce me to obey? I get it now. But the moment he carries a gun, he bears a gun in his hands, whether it is loaded or not, I'm telling you, I'm obeying. And that's power. So it means gun or barrel is a form of military power. Gun or barrel, whether single or double barrel. There is another form of power called economic power. Now, it is not all power that we have to do with might or gun or barrel. This type of power is known as soft power. It is the ability of people who are wealthy and rich to make people do their biddings and wishes, even if it is contrary to their opinion, just with the aid of economic power. It could be something like bribe, like influence, and so forth and so on. Is that clear? So this has to do with money. It has to do with wealth, and it also has to do with riches. And the last type of power is called political power. I know we are so familiar with political power. This is the type of power that we invest and imbue in our leaders during the time of election. How can political power be derived? through the ballot or election. That's all about power. Now, I go to authority. Authority. I know we must have heard of the concept called authority. I know it must have given us a lot of challenges before, but it is my desire that after this class, you will see the concept of authority as a very simple concept. A concept you can relate with, a concept that should you have 20 questions set on it, you should be able to score the 20 appropriately and correctly. Now let's talk about authority. Now, while power is hard, authority is soft. I'll take that again. You know, power is about, it's either you obey or you obey. Are you getting now? Power doesn't care about whether you understand why you should obey or not. Are you getting now? Power is just about absolute compliance. Are you getting now? Yet, we have another form called authority. Authority is soft. Power will coerce you. Authority will persuade you. You know, authority will be like more making see reasons why you should obey. Are you getting now? Authority will persuade you. Authority will influence you. I'm not saying authority will beg. Are you going to obey authority? Yes. But are you being coerced to obey? No. Are you getting now? You are more being influenced and being persuaded. Now, keywords about authority. We have a keyword like influence. Whenever you see a question like the ability to influence obedience is known as dash, the answer is what? Authority. You see a keyword like moral rights. The moral right to make citizens act in a certain way is called what? Authority. You see another key phrase known as legal rights. Legal rights. The answer is also what? Authority. And then there is another keyword called persuasion. Persuasion. So authority refers to that legal rights, that moral rights to make people act in a certain way. So while power is coercive, power is more doesn't really care about what you feel, what you think. Power will coerce you, it will force you, it will compel you. The authority is more of persuasion. Authority is more of, I need you to do this because this is the reason why we should do it, and it is very important. Are you going to obey? You will obey, but you have been persuaded to see reasons. So you could see authority appeals more to your noble side than power. Power is brute force. Is that clear? Very good. So that's about authority. Now we have about 3 types of authority. Types of authority. The first type of authority that we have is called traditional authority. Traditional what? Traditional authority. Now, from the word tradition, the word traditional from the word tradition. Are you getting now? Traditional authority, you know, it emanates from our custom and tradition, and there are certain persons within the scope of our custom and tradition who wield this type of authority. Are you getting now? And they are our traditional rulers. Are you getting? So traditional authority, it is being exercised by which categories of persons? Traditional rulers. Traditional what? Rulers. Now, examples of our traditional rulers, we can't really give names, but let's stick with titles. Let's call them the obas, the emirs, the obis, etc. Now, there is another fact about traditional authority I would like you to take note of, is that how can traditional authority be derived? How can it be gotten? It can be derived through inheritance, or you could say it is hereditary. Mind you, it's a question that usually comes out in exam. So you could say traditional authority can be passed from one person to another through inheritance. Inheritance, or you could say it's hereditary. Now let's go to the second type of authority. The second type of authority that we have is called political authority. Political authority, and just like the name reflects political, it is gotten through election, through the ballots. So that's influence, that's moral rights, that legal right that our leaders come to have over us during the time of election is called what? Political authority. It's a type of authority we can decide to invest in them today, and after 4 years we can withdraw it and invest it in another category of persons. Is that clear? Very good. And the last type of authority is called charismatic authority. Oh, charismatic. This is a lovely type of authority. This authority doesn't have to do with election. It doesn't have to do with being a traditional ruler. You know, charismatic is from the word charisma. And the word charisma is from the Greek word called charis. Charis means gifts, and it means talent. It means skills. It means abilities. So when we say somebody has charisma, the person is gifted. The person is talented. The person is able to do certain things in a unique and extraordinary way that others cannot. So certain persons bear this type of charismatic authority that in the society they wield a lot of influence. Let me give you an example. Let's consider one of our song stars in Nigeria, Davido. Davido is able to post on his Facebook platform that in the 2023 election, I need my supporters, my people, my friends to vote for this person in the presidential election. And I'm telling you, a lot of people will obey, will comply without giving them a particular dime, without coercing them. Now, what has he wielded over them? Is it political authority? He doesn't have that, he's not elected. Is it traditional authority? He's not a king, not an emir, not an oba. Now, what has he wielded? He has wielded charismatic authority. Now, what makes him able to wield that? He has the gift of singing. He has the voice, which is like a talent, a special skill that he is able to influence the decisions and opinions of people. So that is charismatic what? Authority. Mind you, authority is about influence, it's about moral rights, it's about legal rights, it's about persuasion. So I have this question, can't really recollect the year it came out, that while power is coercive, authority is dash. The answer is persuasive. Power will coerce you, authority will do what? Persuade you. So don't forget legal rights and then moral rights. Thank you. So by the time we come to the next session, we'll be able to continue with our classes. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. See you in our next class. Do have a wonderful day. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Bye-bye.